guys, I'm Saumya. Thanks for watching. On my channel Saumya's Bookstation, I spread all the book love that I can. So hit that subscribe button and also press the bell icon if you are a book lover. And if you like my videos, don't forget to like and share them. So today's video is an April wrap-up video. I was able to read 6 full books in April. I say full books because there were other books that I began, but I was not able to finish them because April was extremely busy for me. And May is going to be extremely busy for me because I have a lot of stuff going on in terms of my studies and all. I started several audiobooks, I started several other books, but I just didn't find enough time. I wish I am able to squeeze in some more time to read in May. I am hopeful for that. So I'll talk about what I thought of these 6 books. So let's get into the video. The first book is All the Lives We Never Lived by Anuradha Roy. So this is the story of Mishkin Rosario and his mother, Gayatri Rosario. Now this story opens in the 1990s when Mishkin is an old man, but the actual main story is taking place in 1930s as we go down the memory lane, as Mishkin remembers the time when he was a little boy of 9 or 10 years old, and he remembers the time when his mother Gayatri Rosario ran away from home with a German man. So the main actual story is taking place before India's independence, and it is taking place in a fictional town called Muntazir. Now this has not been stated specifically, but by the way the landscapes around Muntazir have been described, I am going to take a guess, a very strong guess, that Muntazir was located in the present day Uttarakhand. So freedom movement is gaining momentum in India, but Mishkin's mother Gayatri Rosario doesn't feel happy in her life because she wants a freedom of another kind. She wants freedom from the kind of life she is leading. So as a result of which she eventually ends up running away from home to the Dutch East Indies, or more specifically Bali. So the main story is Mishkin basically remembering the time when his mother was present and the time when she left, and how he grew up, the challenges that he faced, whatever went through his mind, his emotional turmoil. This book is actually not completely fiction. This is inspired from a lot of real life as well, because quite a few characters that appear in the story were actual people that the author researched about. I took my time with this book because I could not read this book very fast. It is not a page turner in a way that would make it a pacey read, but it is definitely a page turner in a way that you would want to get to the end of the story. Also, the writing as well as the character development in this story is absolutely wonderful. I was able to empathize with each and every character in this book, and that is a quality in a book that I really admire. The next book is Narcissistic Romanticism by Piyush Rohankar. So this is a collection of 91 poems, and the poems in this book are basically based on 2 themes mainly: love and life. The poems about life are philosophical, and the poems about love are based on varying themes within love, like falling in love for the first time and being in love, and also the yearning when you lose somebody you love. I'm just going to say that I had a great time reading this book because I felt that the poems were composed so well. These poems have been written so well that they don't seem like poems, they seem like songs. If you want to check out my full review of this book, you can check out my review video. The next book is Bombay Brides by Esther David. Now this is a collection of short stories about Indian Jews. So I had no idea that India had a Jewish community before I read this book. So in that way this book turned out to be an educational experience, because not only did I get to know about Jewish community existing in India, I also got to know a little bit about their customs and rituals because they have been mentioned time and again in the stories. This book is a collection of short stories about different characters in a fictional society called Shalom India Housing Society in Ahmedabad. Now what has been shown is that in this society only Jewish people have flats. So what we get to read in this book is the stories of people who either live in Shalom India Housing Society or of people who are connected to the people living in the Shalom India Housing Society. Initially when I started reading the stories, they seemed to me to be pretty simple and even somewhat predictable, but as they ended, they turned into delightful stories, which I absolutely loved about this book. The writing of this book was not exceedingly impressive, but it was not bad either. It was good enough that it did the job. It conveyed the story. The next book is Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid, Rowley Jefferson's Journal by Jeff Kinney. So if you watch my channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Wimpy Kid series. I have read all the books in the series, believe it or not. I love it so much. So when I found out about this, I thought that I had to get it. This is basically author Jeff Kinney branching out. He's building another series. In the Wimpy Kid series, we get to read about Greg Heffley. In Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid, we'll read the journal of Rowley Jefferson, who is Greg's best friend. When I got this book, I was expecting it to be as funny as the Wimpy Kid series, and for the first 80-90 pages, it completely disappointed me because it was nowhere near as funny. And I even put out a story on Instagram expressing that just how disappointing this book is turning out. But the moment I posted the story and the moment I proceeded, this book started getting more and more hilarious with every page. And by the end of this book, I felt that Jeff Kinney had justified this book completely. The next book is A Cynic's Shadow by Yash Singhania. So this is a collection of around 70 poems, and I've also done a review video of this book. You can check it out. The link will be in the description box. So this book contains poems that have been written from the perspective of a melancholic man, and he's melancholic because he knows the reality of this world, but he keeps on living his life all the same. And this book also contains illustrations that go with the poems so that they help the reader in understanding the meanings of the poems even better. Now, my overall reading experience with these poems and the illustrations was kind of mixed. There were some poems and illustrations that made complete sense to me and I loved them. They were gems. But then there were some poems that did not impress me for many reasons. Either they were not metaphorically clear to me and the images that went with them were not clear either, so I was not able to make sense of those poems. And then there were poems which made sense, but they were not that impactful individually. If you are a fan of dark and modern poetry, this is a book that you can consider because there are some poems in this book that are really good. The next book is 3000 Stitches by Sudha Murthy. Now this book is non-fiction and is a collection of 11 stories. But since it is non-fiction, these 11 stories are events that actually took place. So one of the stories in this book was told to Sudha Murthy by her father, and that is one of my favorite stories in this book. Anyway, I don't know why it took me so long to get to this book because this is an absolute gem. It is such a simple read, but the kind of impact this has on the reader is powerful. Different stories in this book taught me different lessons, but the two things that I really took away the most from this book was that one should work hard and one should be kind. It's a very inspiring book. So that was my April wrap up. Let me know in the comment section if you have read any of these books or if you plan to, or you can share your own April wrap up in the comment section, and I'll leave the link for all these books in the description box. And if you want to get your hands on them, please do consider buying them from my links. That would be very helpful. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye.